G'day, how you going? I'm Ian Applis, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I like to teach beginners how to paint in acrylic. Before I get started, I just want to quickly get the size of the canvas up there, and I'll also get some colours running up the screen that I'm going to use in this tutorial. Now this is a picture I'm using, and I want to give a shout out to Michael Schofield for this reference picture. It's a wonderful picture and it makes a brilliant subject for a piece of art and something you can learn different values from. Okay, I will show you the reference picture throughout the video, so let's get on over here and we'll get right into it. Now I picked this picture because it's got a lot of depth. We've got this water right behind all this front silhouette, and that creates depth. And also in the sky, I don't know if the camera's picking up the detail here, but there's a lot of detail around right here, and that's got depth as well. So the whole picture creates depth you can get sunken right into. That's why I picked this picture. So to prep my canvas, I want to grab the soft titanium white. It's a soft bodied titanium white, and I want to mix that with some retarder. This retarder is going to slow down the drying time of this acrylic paint, just so as I can condition the canvas to get all my blended sky colours the way I want. So up here, I'm only going to go about halfway, or not halfway, just the sky half, which is a bit lower than halfway. Now that's quite thick there. So I don't like this paint that I'm putting on here too thick on the canvas, so I'll get it on there first, spread it all around with this beautiful big putter on a brush that doesn't muck around. What have we got there? A bit of rubbish. And then I'll come to the tip of my putter on a brush and I'll just stroke that left and right till I get a nice thin even film of that craft soft bodied white paint with the retarder. Okay, I've got some yellow ochre here, yellow oxide, and I want to get this in the main perimeter of the sky area. So we'll come across here, right across the middle, bring it down to the bottom. Infinity X strokes to pull it down a bit further, because just going across like that ain't going to move it enough, and bring it up the top with some Infinity X strokes as well. Okay, getting it where I want. That's it, that's good. Coming up there, I want it about there. I'm just getting a vibe off the reference. I'm only referencing from the reference. I'm not going to paint it exact. And I've got it now, as you can see, kind of up there like that. So down here I've got some white and I've got some burnt sienna. So I want to slowly add that burnt sienna into the white, and then just gingerly add some of this red violet to get this kind of a jaspery colour that I'm looking for. That's it. Now what I want to do is, I'm just going to crisscross this into the corners where it is, like it is in the reference, across the top. Then I'm going to load the brush up again, and I want to control where I want some of it cutting into that sky there as well, like so. Turn my brush around, cutting into there like this. Now I'm going to come to the tip of my brush and pull that into the sky. Just blending it with this putter on a brush, pulling it right across the sky there like so. I have some Indian yellow here, it's nice and strong, and I want to start where the sun's going to be with this Indian yellow. My horizon line's about here. So now what I want to do with this is just simply push it on and then gradually wear my way out from the center there, just like so. And what's happening is I'm getting stipply, spidery, fingery arms coming off this concoction. About that low from the bottom there. I'll explain to it once I've finished stamping it on what I'm doing. So we've got it out there. It's important to get these fingery bits like this. The best way to do this is with a fan brush. See all these this ways and that ways I've got, and I've got them kind of fingering out. Everything on here is still wet and retarded, which is beautiful. Now I want to quickly just wash that, pick up some white just to turn the headlights on in that Indian yellow now. So starting from the middle, same thing again. From the middle, don't go back into the middle now, start wearing yourself away to the edge. Like this. All this white and that yellow is mixed together, and we are going to blend it so hopefully we get some kind of deep fiery action of sun colours in the sky there. Now I'm going to grab a blending brush. Now I'll start in the middle. I'm going to stamp it on. Oh yeah, look, stamp it on. I want bits of everything there. I don't want it all the mushy one solid colour. I want it, I'll show you what I mean. Pull that out. We got vibrant bits here and there. Bring it out into this other colour here, just like that. See how we got bright and dull values here? We want to try and keep that. We can always add them back if we lose a lot of it, but don't just grind it into one big solid mushy mud pile. You've got to control your blending, and what I mean by that is being light, picking up from here, putting it over here, blending away. The horizon line's going to be about there, so that's okay. And you'll get an idea just from this side to the other side how we've converted those paint colours on our canvas. Dance it, dance it. Look at me brush, full on snot. Wipe it and get all this out here as well. Tape it into that red, violet and raw sienna colour there. Now I'm grabbing some more white into this, and I want to create my clouds onto this yellow bit. So what I'm going to do is I'll work this side first and get some of this spidering right out there. I'll do a little bit at a time just to show you. So I want to leave the top of that and kind of bring that down. Get them out of there. And this is a lot more of an opaque value of the yellow now. We'll get something here like this. Yes. Something about here. Pillowy. That one can get a bit more roundy. There we go. Pillowy. Fading. Where are we? Something over here. Get this one done first. I'm going to blend the bottom down into that stuff. Drag that nice out there. Oh, this is going to be depth right behind. It's important to keep wiping the brush you're blending your clouds down with if you want to control the way they look the way I teach them. Now stop, sit, stand back, have a look at it, analyse it, what's missing, what's there. I probably can get something overhead here just to kind of, I don't know, put something there. Everything's wet, look how it's working. See how easy that was? You can do this. Practice if you haven't done it before, and I guarantee you can do it. Something here. See the body of all this one cloud, and I merge it in a way where it looks cloud-like. Tassel the end of buggery. Just something there. I'm just going to use a smaller flat brush now so I can get some more control. Now I want some darker, same values, browny clouds down there. So I've got some raw sienna, and I'll add some of that burnt sienna with it just to change the value, the colour I'm looking for, that looks reasonably similar in the reference pic. I love using a fan brush for clouds. I'll just wet him, dampen it a bit so it's not so dry. And get that ready for putting over the sun. So I've got my pouncer. You don't want a big one. Sometimes even I get caught, I do a sun or a moon far too big. I want to get this into the sky. So I want this about there. Now I'm going to stamp it on first just to have a look. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is wipe most of because there's a lot of paint in that sponge. And now I just want to get rid of the frothy, bubbly of it and give it a bit of a twist to really grind it into that yellow. So I'm just mucking with it now. Get a bit more paint on there, white paint, just so as it's white. There we go. Now back to the raw sienna and burnt sienna that I mixed up. I want to get these clouds across the bottom, so my horizon line's about here, okay? I'll just quickly put that there so you get an idea. And we need to get these clouds. So let's just get this where I want. And a lot of this is just hovering past that sun there. A lot of it's fadey there. It can be real solid down the bottom. That's working okay. Now I'm going to stop and blend that. I've just got a smaller blending brush here. I want to start at the top, control the top how I want it to look. Okay, and then just let the bottom be solid. And I'm going to do that all the way along the horizon line. I'm going to try to watch this. Get right down there, up there, down to the horizon line. And blend that into the colour. That sun's very wet, so I don't want to smudge it too much. I'll stamp it there. Okay, and then I can blend this with some turning motions. You're just pretty much setting this raw sienna, burnt sienna colour down at the bottom here. Now I've got to make it a little bit more detail-y around this area. So we'll get something here like it looks like in the picture. Oh, that's too thick on the brush there. Get a cloud body here. And then chisel your brush out just so we can get something dancing across here. The way it is there. And over here somewhere. There we go, and that's going to start into that. So you know how I've added yumminess to my normal clouds? This is the same principle. I'm going to wipe that blending brush because it's very full of that paint. And we're going to simply get this vibed in there. Adding more darker, lighter values, yumminess. Let's call it the yumminess values, I suppose. Same motion, round, do a bit at a time. My paint's slowly drying, so I'm just doing a bit at a time now. If I do too much, it's going to be difficult to manipulate. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm getting some white. And let's start individual. See how all this looks like one big solid thing? We want to individualize it, if that's a word. So I'm just going to use this white to get that to happen. I want to separate it from that top one, just like that. And blend all that into it, changes the value of that brown colour there. Get something happening here. Now you can do any type of clouds you want. I'm just doing what's in the reference picture there, keeping it simple. This here's a bit, something's not quite right there, so I'm just going to have to mush it up and change it. That's why I haven't done the water yet, because see my brush is going all the way down there. I need some of this all the way up there now, I'm just trying to fix that up. It just looked, something just didn't look right with it. And if it doesn't look right, well that means something is definitely wrong with it. Fix it up if you feel that's happening in your painting. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm just not happy what's happened here. So I saw the yellow there, so what I'm going to try and do, just see if this works. Get some yellow over that. And find a cleaner blending brush that doesn't have all that brown in it. And get that out there. Blend it out there. And then I can add a little bit of white. There we go, wipe it off your brush and smear that in there into that yellow just to activate it. Then we can probably get just this up there, making the top of that cloud. Now I'm feeling like these bits here are too dark, so I've picked up some white just to soften them down, because they're so dark and browny and it shouldn't be that dark. That's better. So I've just got a small, short bristled flat brush. The shorter bristle allows me to control where I want to scrumble it, because this needs to be a lot paler, looking at the ones in the reference there. I'll give that a dry. I want to get the horizon line in. So see the top of this tape? That's where I want the horizon line, because from the bottom of the sun to the horizon line, we want about that much. So I'm just going to simply put that there. And we'll paint in our water. So now using a pencil, just to show you, just so you've got to adjust, the water's going to be about that high. And it's going to come down about there. Okay, so that's the only area I'm going to do the water. So I'll just use some of this craft paint to map in the water area. This is why I use the putter on a brush, because I mean, you could use a brush like this, but because I'm filming, I want to get it done. And if you're at home, you want to get things done before they dry. This simply, see how chalky it is on the dry canvas? The coloured paint goes like that as well, but this helps the coloured paint move across the canvas. That's why I use this soft-bodied titanium white a lot in certain parts of my paintings. Now I'm just going to stroke that left and right and get most of the lumpity bumps out of there, because you don't want it all goobly globbly. Now we need a silver dark bluey looking water. Have a look at the water. So how I'm going to do that, in my opinion, is grab the blue and the grey and start mixing up the blue and grey with, I've just got cerulean blue and grey, and I have some phthalo blue there just to get it darker. So let's see how we go with making a darker area of this. I'm going to use this side of it to be darker, or is that going quite vivid? That'll be all right. Now the colour on the canvas is going to lighten it up a bit as well. So I'll get this at the horizon line first, because we have a band of this there and a band of it all the way across there. So I'll get this at the horizon line, and that's why I did put the tape there, because I don't have to muck around and be gingerly about it. Get it right across there. Now I'm looking at the reference. There is a light band going across the water, and it makes sense because there's the light element in the sky. So we're going to put that there. So we've got this silvery blue water there. Now I'm going to pick up just the phthalo blue on its own, and let's see what this does if I stamp it on there like so, all the way along here. And let's see if this is going to help get it darker. I'll wipe the bulk of that off the brush just so as I can waterfy that. Yeah, look at that, I've made it darker and I've controlled it. So I want some more now. And then a gap and a bit more down here. Stamp it on like this. It's so easy to do this, and you can control what you're actually doing. Because if I tried brushing it on, it's just going to get soaked right into that lighter colour. And then I go right across lightly to waterify that. Boom, diddy boom, boom, boom. There we go. There is our water. Now I'm grabbing the white, and this first colour, I'm making a really bright colour of that. Pretty much white, but tainted with that cerulean bluing grey colour. And then I'll use my bullshit stick, see if we can get a straight, going straight across the water there. And it's pretty much from the dark, so we're coming along here. No, I won't use it because it's forcing me to use the brush on an angle I don't want to use it. So I'll chisel that back. And now I can get my brush down here. And this is all scalloped and tapered in here for the brighter area in the middle of our water. I'll have a look at the reference. Here we got some scattery bits here just flickering on the water. Now I'll pick up, let's say, my putter on a brush, and I'll waterify that. I dried the painting, I don't know if I told you, so it's quite rubbery, it's not wet. There we go. So what I can do now is just build that up a bit. I'll put a bit more white in there now, just so this bit here I can get the light shimmering across there. Because there is an intense bit, and it's important to look for those intense bits in your work and put them into your paintings. Wipe that and just gingerly waterify what you just put on there. There we go. I'll take that tape off. Alright, I've got a bit of a line there, so what we're going to do to fix that up, I'm grabbing that colour that I had and a flat brush upside down, coming across, kiss it against there and jingle it, wiggle it to the horizon line and just cover that white spot up, that white line that was created from the tape. Mistakes happen, so we've got to fix them. And I'm just going to do that all the way along. Take your time, there's no rush. If it's finicky, it's finicky. Art's sometimes easy and finicky. Now, why that white line happened, for those of you who might want to know, when I put the tape there, the tape was fine, but when I put my white paint on there, I put too much of it against the tape and it bled underneath. And when I put my colour on, I was more careful, and that didn't bleed underneath because the white paint all of a sudden made a barrier, so it stayed there, didn't painting when I pulled it off, hence you saw the white tape. Normally I put my tape on, I put the white paint on and just let it gingerly come to the edge and then use the colour to get to the edge. That way you'll have a coloured edge, not a white edge. Now for the silhouette, I'm not going to use just black. I like to go burnt umber and black. I'm using the Atelier paints, but these ones in the bottles you might see floating around my studio every now and then, they're a free flowing paint. They're softer bodied, so they're good for doing your front work and your detail. So I'll mix up the black, but it's going to have the burnt umber in it. So grab your appropriate, I'm going to just use a flat brush to mix all this. So there's me burnt umber. I want to mix all that black into it, and it's a blacky brown, but more on the black side, but it's got a tint of black in it. I mean tint of brown, the burnt umber in it. What I want to do is just simply grab me fill, but watch what we do here. Watch the video a few times to understand why I'm doing this. The land is out here, and I'm just going to blob it on, get it into that shape. It's coming over the water a bit, coming back, and then it's all the way along here. It's just silhouetted shrubs, trees, whatever, but this brush will do the best thing for that. There we go. Now what I can do is simply just block all that in. I remember when I first started painting, I just used straight out black. I liked it at the time, but I was learning, and you realise as you progress and evolve through your art journey, you can add different colours to everything. So there we go, we've got that done there. Now you can finesse this. Got to come up here, up there a bit, way up there. So I'm going to turn the brush around just to get some little ones down here, turn it on its edge. So I'm getting some little ones here, and this can sort of chop around up here a bit. I don't know what sort of little shrubs these are here. Once again, thank you to Michael Schofield for, big shout out to him, using this reference pic that I found on free website, Unsplash or Pixabay, I forget which one it was. Okay, what I want to do first is take advantage of what's sticking out mainly in the reference pic. So I'm using a flat brush, chiseling the paint onto it, grabbing my mouse stick, and I'll put in, where we got one coming right across the sun there. So let's get this one in there, right about here. Contact your canvas, don't be scared, and then just come down straight into that black there, like that. The flat brush does good for this. We got something here to about here, so contact the canvas. Boom. And we'll do another one right next to it, right here. Sometimes trees look good when there's a couple real close together. Bit wavy, doesn't have to be a straight line. And we have one massive big one right in the guts of it, or to the left of it. So we're going to put that one in. So he's about here. So I'll get him on first. He's about there, like that. And then I'm going to start silhouetting the shape of it, which is, it's a cotton palm. So it's got these sawtooth coming out like that. See, I'm doing this with the flat brush. It's very easy. I know it's a cotton palm because my mum had one in her front yard years ago. And then it's the same on the other side. So you're sort of coming out and back in, coming out and back in. Very easy to do. Big, look at the size of the brush I'm using, just a big flat brush here. Where are we? There we go. And then just fill in all those little white windows there that you could see. It's pretty much going on a V cone shape out there, like the way they do. And it's coming right off the painting here. Just paint it right off the painting. How are we? It's a bit fatter there, so let's go a bit fatter. Don't be shy, Ian, get right into it. There we go. And what distinctive things, it has a little hook here, so I want to put that there. That's distinctive, that looks great. Now use this flat brush to grab some from it. Let's hope that worked. And we've got something here. Get the paint inky enough. I got the stem of the branch, scratching it. Stem of the branch, scratching it out. Using this flat brush. I'm doing everything with this flat brush. And then I will detail it with my how's it go? It goes like that there. I'll detail that with my liner brush in a minute. Now we simply have a lot of other palms here, so these are all palms. Just I always use a flat brush for these, they're cheap, easy. Look how easy they are. Get one up here, bang. One up here, and one over here. And I always like, there's none in the picture, but I like to put these little scragglers in and just bulk up the guts of it there. Just like that. And we do the same with all the others. They're crossing over everywhere. It's all silhouetted. Try not to make them look like a wagon wheel. I've had that problem before, and I've seen other people conveying the same problem. So when you see those things, realise it's something you've got to avoid. And practice just on your own, on a scrap bit of cardboard, just some palms that you like. I mean, these aren't realistic looking palms, but they look real enough to make a painting look like, oh, I like that. Give me a comment below if you're watching this for the first time, or even if you're a seasoned follower of mine. Give me a comment. Comments help the algorithm of my channel. Just down here, I'm going to pick up the filbert brush because there's some kind of closer tree here, so I'm going to put that there, kind of here, just to fill in this water area here. Now I'll grab a liner brush, well, not a liner brush, but my flat brush again, just to get the appropriate trunks for all this. Okay, I'm going to have a look in there. That's okay. Now, what else is? Oh, there's some little ones on the island here. We'll just get some short ones peeking out. The other side of that painting looks empty. We'll bring the eye back into the with this. Tropical fronds sticking out here, so I'll just get some of these in the mix there. I'll just sign this and we'll whack a frame on it, and I want to thank everybody who follows me on YouTube here. Hit the join tab below if you're watching on a desktop, become a YouTube channel member, get perks. There's also become a patron. I want to thank the patrons who support me every month. They get early access to my content. This will go up on the Patreon platform and it'll be there for the patrons to see before it's actually released. And the art group, they get a pixelated version of it. It's just a teaser to show you what is coming up. But if you want to see what it actually looks like, you become a patron and you get to see everything. And then when it's released for YouTube, everyone gets to see it as well. There we go. That's not too shabby, is it? We've got a tropical ocean sunset silhouetted, pushing everything back. I've achieved what I was after, and I hope you can get something out of this painting because I know you can do it. Well, that was a beautiful, colourful subject. I enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that video as well. And if you did, you tell your friends. But if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody. Goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.